Hey guys, welcome back to Top Tick Trading. Today I'm just going to go over a recap of my trades that I made today on August 14th. I thought I'd start doing a video like this to go over the trades that I made during the day, in the morning. It's a good way, I think, for me especially, to review my work, to see what went right and what went wrong, and maybe look at some areas that I could improve upon. And maybe it helps you guys to go through this exercise and go over some trades and see my thought process. So let's go over a trade that I took on Mara. So I'm going to open up my other platform here so I can see my executions. The executions don't show up well here in this platform that I'm using. Thinkorswim is my broker. Or sorry, I should say Thinkorswim is the software application, the trading application that I use. The broker is Charles Schwab. So I use a different application to do my trading in, which is called Dash Trader, which is more customizable. There's some hotkeys. There's some other things you can tweak. But I really like Thinkorswim, which is this software that you're seeing on your screen. I really like this for charting and doing my analysis and really seeing how the trade's set up. So I like the interface and how you can customize indicators and stuff like that. So and the layouts and stuff is pretty cool on Thinkorswim. So let's look at my first trade real quick. I'll try to keep this video pretty short. The first one, let's go over, is Mara. So MARA, that's Marathon Digital down here. It's on the left. What did I do here? Let me pull this up so I can put it up here. Okay, so MARA, what do? We took a short on this one right around, looks like here on this candle. The reason I took the short there is I thought it was going to be a VWAP reject, and it did open here, fall down, and then try to retest this area, fall down, and I thought this is going to be another rejection of the 1550 area. So it ended up going back up. My stop was probably around here. I don't remember exactly where I put my stop. I entered around here, probably had my stop here. But what I did is I stopped myself out of this trade right around here on this candle instead of waiting for my stop. The reason I did that is because I looked at this candle and this candle. And I thought, wow, this is pretty bullish, and maybe we break through the highs. So, you know, not a good reason really to stop out. But in hindsight, it's very clear that I shouldn't have stopped out. But this is why doing these reviews is good, right? Like, I can see that really there was no reason for me to get out of my short unless it really broke over the EMAs here, which is the 50 and the 200 EMA. If it broke above that and stayed, I think that's a better case for stopping out. Anyway, this is all hindsight, right? I'm just telling you guys what actually happened. So I took the short, stopped out here. Good news for me is that I did reshort right as soon as I saw this top get put in, and the candle was about right here. I shorted right around there, and I probably had my stop over somewhere over here, maybe in the same places before. So the good news is that, you know, I took that small loss on the short, and I immediately reshorted, and I covered a little bit here on this dip right at the lows. Really, I think I got like 1531 or something as a fill. And now the next few candles here were trending to the upside, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles to the upside. And this was the real test for me, because I used to scalp on 1 minute charts before switching my trading style to using 5 minute charts. And when I was trading 1 minute charts, I was very reactive to every candle that happened. And so this was a really big test for me to, you know, tell my brain to go on standby and stop overthinking all these candles, right? Because every time you see this big green candle here, then you got 3-4 green candles in a row right here. And then you can draw like a little trend line over here thinking, okay, now it's going to hold and we're going to go up. So with what I try to do now is just let the trades work for me. So I have my stop in place, I have my thesis, and I don't want to second guess myself over and over during the trade. So if I'm wrong, it's fine. I get stopped out, I lose on the trade, I can review it like I'm doing now and maybe come up with a better plan for next time. But what I should avoid doing is keep adjusting my stops while I'm in the trade. So I have to give myself kudos for this one, because this normally would have like made me want to stop out early when it starts going up like this. But I stayed short during this time. And not only that, but on right here, I added to my short on Mara. So I had covered half of it here, maybe a third of it, and then I reshorted full size here, and I still had 2/3 from this short. So I had really good size on this one, on the short side. And then I covered here at the end of this candle, covered some more here, and then I covered another amount here. And then I think I may have stopped out on this candle here. Yeah, I think I did stop out there, yeah. So overall, a good trade. You know, I try to shoot for like 1 to 2 R trades, and this definitely fit the bill. So let's look at another trade that we did. Let's look at CMG. Do we have CMG on the board here? I know I have a lot of charts up here. We don't have CMG, so let's put CMG here. CMG. So what did I do here on CMG? Maybe I can make the chart a little bigger. So I waited for all of this area to kind of form in the morning. So in the morning it dropped, reclaimed the open, the 52, bounced up, and I remember watching this thinking, okay, this might be a long now. It's bounced off VWAP, it's over the EMAs. I think we might see it rip higher. But then I zoomed out and I looked at what happened yesterday, and it had resistance in the 52 area. It's had a huge drop, right? It was trading at 56 and it dumped because I think the news was that the CEO moved from Chipotle to McDonald's, if I remember correctly, or Chipotle to somewhere else. Forget the name of the company. Starbucks, not McDonald's. Yeah, so Chipotle CEO moved from Chipotle to Starbucks, which caused Starbucks to gap the other way, and Chipotle gap down. So the point is basically that there's a lot of weakness in this ticker. So instead of going short, instead of going long, when I noticed this, I thought to myself, I wonder if there's any seller still left over that might want to sell from the bad news yesterday. So I waited, and I let it come all the way down here. And then once I saw this bounce off 5160s, I did get long right there. So I got long right around here. And then I noticed that it rejected the VWAP again. So once, broke below, twice now. And now that it rejected the VWAP, sorry about that. So now that it rejected it twice and it's below all the EMAs, and we got that bad news from yesterday, I no longer felt like this was a long. So I cut it, break even right about there, and I switched to a short. So I immediately flipped short here, and looks like I flipped short here, and then I added to my short, anticipating this break of this area. So I added, and then my covers, I covered most of it right here in this 51 area. Oh, sorry, 50, let's see the actual one, 5125. So that would be right around here. So that's where I covered most of my size. And then as I saw this wick form, you know, up inverted hammer, doji candle, whatever you want to call it, but I call this like a wick candle. And when I see this form at the bottom, and I noticed that it did bounce off the same area here yesterday. This is yesterday, right? So let's look at a 15-minute oh, I just switched everything to 15. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, yesterday it went to this area. Yeah, so yesterday it bounced off 5110. And I was definitely keeping an eye on that. And then this was this range from yesterday afternoon. So let's move this one back to 5 minutes. So that's the line right there. You see 5110. So when the price bounced off that and started going up aggressively on this 5-minute candle here, because I was short from here, and then I was watching my P&L go super green as it just dumping, and then I started seeing price kind of stabilize here. So that's why I covered everything on this candle. So I shorted from here, add, cover. So that was the CMG trade. Okay, so another one we can talk about that I did well on today was PLTR. So I've got that pulled up here. Actually, it's next to it as well. So, just an overview of PLTR, we had set a high here of 3120s after a pretty good run up here from 26, and massive sell off here a couple days ago, 2 days ago. This was on the 12th. It hit a high of 3120s and just dumped. Yesterday bounced up and then it stopped around this price, 30.84. So I was kind of looking, this was on my radar because it had made some big moves the past few days. So there's a lot of range in this. So I want to be involved in stocks that have a lot of range, because then that means I can capture, like, 1, 2, 3 R moves out of this thing. So I want to stay away from sideways stocks that are not doing anything, that are not in play. So I look for stocks in play. So let's go over what I did on PLTR. This was actually kind of tough to trade. I mean, just looking at this chart, it was not easy. It was not easy. So what did I do? So I waited out this morning move right here, and I waited till it went up here, and I was sort of anticipating that it would reject here, because we had this kind of top put in here yesterday, and we're just a little bit above that. And I wasn't so bullish on PLTR, especially after this candle here in the morning where it wicked off and we sold off pretty heavily. So my idea was that this was going to be a double top. Okay, so that being the idea, I shorted it right here on this candle. I waited a few candles here, and I covered half here at the very bottom of this red candle. I covered half of my short, and then I moved my stop to about here, and I said, okay, let's see if we get a break of the low. I could add, and maybe we get down to 30 today. So that was the plan. So I let it do its thing. I let it work. Unlike Mara, I didn't want to touch my stop. So I let it come up and it stopped me out. So no problem there. We got break-even stops on what was left, and we caught like 1 R on half of the trade. So pretty decent. And then I did actually flip long. Looks like right around here, thinking that we would get a break of the high right here that was put in. So I got long around here, got an exit, but then when I saw this candle, I stopped out of the long again. The mistake was reading too much into, like, this candle here, reading too much into this one individual group of candles, thinking, okay, now we're going over, instead of looking at the bigger picture where we kind of held price here, and we're over the VWAP, we're over all the EMAs. So I made that mistake here of getting out. But I did get out even, so it was not a loss on the long trade. And then once I saw this candle put in and then bounce up, I did get long again, PLTR, and I did get a bunch of exits around here. So I did catch the long from here to here. And then I think I got short again on this candle, and I caught a little bit of a move, and then this candle here got me out of the short. So unfortunate. So, but I did pretty well on the short here, and then the long from here to here was probably the biggest move when I took the long from 31.10 to almost 31.40. So this was the big move, big winning trade. It doesn't look like much, but in hindsight, looking at this again, we see that the price bounced off 30.40 on PLTR, came down, bounced off again off 30.40. This might have been a good place to get long around here, or maybe, you know, if you're quick, get in at the lows and then have your stop below the lows. So, of course, you know, when you look at these charts after they're formed, it's very easy to know like where you should have bought and where you should have sold. So, you know, I try to avoid doing that, but of course we're all humans and we always want to look at something and say, yeah, we should have done this or should have done that. So I try to stay away from doing that, because you can only make the best decision you can with the data that you have in front of you at the time, right? So not having everything in front of me, you know, we did the best we could. One last trade that we'll go over here today is the Apple trade. That's going to be this one, and tell you guys what I did on Apple. Initially I got long around here because I saw this consolidation in this area near VWAP, and then I got long, and then I did get stopped out around here. So I got stopped out of the long there, but when I saw this reclaim bounced off the 200 EMA, I relonged it. And that was a great trade, actually, because I rode that all the way up to around here and here. And here's when I got out of my long, and then I shorted it. This was actually the best trade, was the short, because I shorted it at that 222.86 area. Where did I get this line? Let's look. Where did I get this line? Maybe there was no line there. Okay, I'm looking at the daily now. Maybe I was looking at this. Oh yes, this area right here. Let's just clear all this junk off. Let's do a new line. So I must have been looking at this area here. This is the daily chart of Apple. It's probably looking at something like this. So anyway, the point is that I shorted it right there, and I was able to exit, take an exit here, and then last exit was here. I didn't unfortunately wait to get this beautiful exit here, which would have been 3R. That would have been really nice. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is cool. I'll probably do more of these as time goes on, to try to recap my trades and go through my thought process. And hopefully I'll catch you guys on the next stream. So take care, and we'll see you on the next one.